Yo, what is up, everyone? 9 out of Ben here, back with we're gonna do a deck tech today. So this is one of the wackiest, most crazy decks I've ever built. I asked you guys what you wanted to see last time, and I saw the majority of the comments that were actually giving me suggestions said that they wanted to see wacky decks. So this is a deck that a friend of mine actually gave me the idea for. He just basically said Sylveon plus Cyrus. And then I created what is known as, I call this deck Thanos Snap. So if you want to find a way to name this deck in PTCGO, I call it Thanos Snap because of what this deck does. So let me go ahead and explain it. Alright, so the main combo of the deck revolves around Cyrus. You can play this card only if your active Pokemon is a water or steel type. Your opponent chooses 2 bench Pokemon and shuffles all others and all cards attached to them into their deck. Well, this tends to combo really well with Sylveon's PGX attack. Put 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon and all cards attached to them into your opponent's hand. So, let's say if you had a really good steel type card, like, let's say Jirachi, Stellar Wish, one of the best cards in the meta, use that with Cyrus, and then you use Stellar Wish, obviously, and you use Escape Board for free retreat, as most people already do. Then you retreat in PGX. Well, guess what? That wipes out their entire bench. So why is this a combo deck? You must be asking, like, hey, there's still an active Pokemon there, right? And that doesn't really achieve much. Well, the whole goal of this deck is you actually want to be attacking with Mew for the first few turns per game. The reason why is Psi Power puts 3 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. Yes, this attack actually sets up your entire game. This Mew card is usually used for its bench barrier ability, prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon by your opponent's attacks. But this here is 1, an amazing ability, and 2, our main attacker for the deck. So you combine Mew with Spell Tag. When the Psychic Pokemon this card is attached to knocked out by opponent damage for an opponent's attack, put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. So basically, the whole idea of this deck is you get one of their Pokemon with Mew and Spell Tag and 1 energy, usually Lightning Energy, and I'll explain that why here in a minute. Usually you get them down to 10 HP left, right? Alright, so the first phase of this deck is you get them down to 10 HP, right? And then you set up 3 cards in your hand. 3 cards in your hand. You only need 1 of their Pokemon at 10 HP. What you do is you get Counter Catcher. If they're not in the active, you Counter Catcher them to the front. You have Jirachi in the active position. You play Cyrus. They pick up 3 bench Pokemon on their bench, right? So they have a 10 HP left Pokemon on their bench, in the active, and 2 Pokemon left on the bench. Then you drop a Nihilego GX on your bench. So yes, you must keep open a bench spot until the last turn of the game. Empty Light. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may leave both active Pokemon confused and poisoned. Now, it's important that you do this when Jirachi's still in the active. That way, it confuses and poisons Jirachi. That way, your Sylveon isn't confused when you go to attack with Plea, so you don't have to flip a coin. Then you retreat into Sylveon, and you attack with Plea GX, which picks up the remaining 2 bench Pokemon on their bench. And then, guess what? The poison counters on the opponent's active Pokemon, KO the active, and they have nothing to go to, thus an instant, immediate win. So I will go ahead and show you some games under this deck, probably 1 to 2, and then yeah, I'll link the deck list in the description below if anyone wants to try it yourself. Again, this deck is somewhat easily countered by Marshadow, but it's actually really good if they play Marshadow, because that's only 1 Mew and 1 Spell Tag that you can completely set up the whole game. So if they Marshadow early, it's actually bad for them. They pretty much need to save Marshadow for very, very late game, or else they will end up losing. But yeah, and if you guys want to see more wacky decks like this, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And also go follow me on Twitch. 9 out of Ben on Twitch. I play stuff like this all the time. This and like stuff like Salazzle Hand and just crazy. I think the other one that I want to do here in a few days, if you guys are liking the wacky decks, is Mega Mewtwo Welder and Expanded. The deck is actually insane. I've beaten Reshizard with it. It's insane. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below if you guys want to see more videos like this. And yeah, let's get into the action. See you there. All right, let's get into our first game. Looks like we're up against the Reshizard deck, which might be good, might be bad. I saw Psychic and Colorless in there, which typically means he's playing the version that does have more shadow, usually, I think. It looked very interesting. This is not a good start. Tapu Koko is not typically what you want to start with, especially with this hand. We don't have anything to draw some cards in, but I still have faith. This will be a good game. Let's see. So we do get to go first. Nice. Charmander and a top deck Steven's Resolve, which is actually fantastic for us. That's pretty much what we need to get out of this scenario. So we're gonna go ahead and grab a Lightning Energy, and then we will Steven's Resolve. Grab ourselves an Eevee. Grab ourselves a Jirachi. No, not Eevee. We'll grab ourselves a Elm. And we'll probably grab ourselves an Erica. They typically fill up their bench pretty quickly. So I'm thinking Erica, Jirachi, Elm seem like the best play. We don't have anything else to draw with right now. So we will go with that for now. We have Switch, we have Jirachi, and we have Spell Tag. I'm hoping that will the Jirachi will get me into a escape board, and then we can switch into Jirachi, escape board, and Elm into a Mew. That would be pretty much the ideal circumstances for turn 2. Ooh, Reshies are already here. So this might be a little bit more of an awkward matchup. It's not impossible to win, but seeing as Charizard can put 20 damage on itself, if they do catch on to what they're doing, there are cards in the meta that can just put damage on themselves. One mainly being Spiritomb, and then the other being Charizard. And then they can just like beat our deck because they know what we're doing. But again, this deck very much rules on the element of surprise. No one knows what this deck does generally. They always go for the weirder knockouts. So we'll see how it turns out. Also, Charmander right here. We're gonna see if we can somehow sneak in a win real quick with that Charmander, because it seems like he's focusing way more on Charizard right now, the Reshizard combo, to get what he wants. So I think we still have a really good chance of winning. Really good chance, because we can set up that Charmander in one turn, and if he never evolves it, we'll be in a really good position to win. So we're gonna go Spell Tag, Energy, Switch, and just throw all the damage on that Charmander, and hope he never evolves it, and hope he just knocks out the Mew. And then guess what? We get the extra damage on the Charmander, and then we are set up for the whole game. So we'll see. Rubombe is super sweet, super sweet. As long as Pokemon is on your bench, whenever your opponent plays a supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects done to that card by your fairy Pokemon. It prevents your Sylveon from being Guzma, which is awesome against Reshizard. Super vital, super important, because it's so easily one-shot. It's so easily one-shot in this meta. So it's vitally important that you actually build a deck that can withstand that. Now, let's see. Is he going to get a Reshizard? He's going to get a Charizard here. And does he have the rare candy to go? That is going to be... Yes, he does. Wow, the guy starts with everything ready to go for him. It's okay, though. It is 100% okay. We should be fine still. Roaring Resolve. He's going to deal enough damage to knock out. And then we're going to put 4 damage counters on the Charizard. And then we'll see how it goes from there. We're hopefully going to get him in a spot where he put there's 10 HP left on the Charizard, and he never Roaring Resolves because he doesn't know what the deck does. That's the only scenario where it's actually good to do this. Again, this deck does struggle against decks that only play high HP mods. High HP mods is what it struggles against. So, and we'll get more into that a little bit later. I'll discuss that as the video goes on. So we got Stellar Wish, we got a Nest Ball, we got a Switch, we got Serious Strategy. So we're probably gonna go Nest Ball. Go ahead and grab us a. I should probably check what was prized so I could see if Gladian is good here. I guess we can do that now. So Lele is there, Eevee's there, Double Sylveon's there. Mime is prized. Not a great thing to be prized in this deck. Adventure Bag is there, which is good. We have the Spell Tag. We have. Is there an energy there? Because that is what we are missing this turn. Or no, what we're missing is a way to retreat. We're missing energy and a way to retreat. So we probably should be playing Erica this turn anyways. And hoping that works out for us. So we have Coco, so we actually do have a way to retreat if necessary. We also do have Stretcher as well. So we can Erica here. That is okay, sort of. We throw the Spell Tag here. And we can actually evolve the Eevee this turn, which is a good thing because we have the Rabombe, and now he can't really Guzma that for the rest of the game, so he might end up getting a Jirachi knockout, which is okay by me. He'll put, what, 2 damage counters on it, and then we put 3 more on with the Mew, and then it's down to 10 HP left, and we will see if he knows the deck, which most people don't. Most people don't know what it does, so that's completely fine. I'm probably gonna go ahead and not use Coco this turn. I don't think it's the smart play. We're gonna Stretcher that Jirachi right back to our hands next turn, so it's fine. What's the next play? Lele is fine. This is like the one time in this deck I've ever wanted to see a judge. Guzma. Is he gonna try to Guzma the Sylveon? Is he gonna go for it? That just doesn't follow the main rule of the game, which is read the card. Yeah, he just failed Guzma. Okay. We'll take that. When he fails Guzma, that's not a good look for him. I'm assuming he was going to GX move my Sylveon for 200 damage and take the knockout. There was not really anything he could have Guzma there that was good. Oh, that Marshadow is a blessing in disguise. That Marshadow is an absolute blessing. But if we basically got a better hand too, which is amazing. Change strategy, and he drops another basic, which means he can never Marshadow me again this game. That is one of the biggest things in this deck. This deck does not take knockouts. So the only way he can get rid of my hand at this point is a Judge, of which I don't think his deck will play. So we're in a spot where we're able to pretty much just do the damage to Marshadow, 333. 3 damage counters, and then let the Spell Tag do the rest. Get that down to 10 HP, and then we're set up for the game. We're gonna Rescue Stretcher that Jirachi back out, and we're gonna Nest Ball another Jirachi. Seeing as, well, no, we'll probably Rescue Stretcher the Jirachi back out and keep the Nest Ball just in case we hit a rough patch. We're going to drop the Jirachi. We will probably go ahead and Coco this turn. Get that second energy onto the Sylveon. We have not played a supporter this turn, so I would not hate a supporter right now. Let's go find a... Do we find Cyrus now? Or do we go for others? I think we go for Steven's Resolve. I think we're going to have a turn or two where we can just set up and not really worry about dealing damage because we'll have the Marshadow completely set up anyways. Basically, the only out for him now is an Ace Rolla. Ace Rolla is the only out, and if he Ace Rollas Marshadows and then plays it back down after I Steven, that's gonna be a big yikes. So I hope to find some sort of card. Mime is in the prizes, of course. That's not a great look for us, but he's going to Welder here. So if he knocks out the Marshadow, I mean not Marshadow, if he knocks out the Mew and then doesn't really do anything past that, we'll be in a pretty good spot this game. Again, I think I wish I could just throw the 3 damage counters on Charizard, but I think the Marshadow is the better play here. I'd rather him AZ Charizard over Marshadow, but I don't think there's really an option here. We have to go after the easiest thing that can't knock itself out on purpose, because we have to have that 10 HP left on the Marshadow. So what we should do here is probably Stellar Wish with Jirachi, and then Steven's Resolve. Well, Nest Ball another Jirachi, of course, because we want more than one Jirachi available. And then Steven's Resolve into the cards we need to win the game. That's what it's looking like right now. It's looking like we have one turn left in this game before the combo goes off. Field Blower is not okay. That means we do have to deal more damage, and we can't Steven's Resolve at the end of next turn. So that's not looking too great for us, but that is why we kept the Nest Ball in hand. That way we can Nest Ball out another Mew. Let's check how many Mews are in the discard. 1. So we should have 1 left in the deck, unless it's in the prizes. It's in the prizes. We're in trouble. But we shall see how this works out. That Field Blower was... Oh, okay. Turns out we don't need it. Turns out we do not need it whatsoever. It's just going to take us an extra turn to get to the end result we're looking for here. We probably don't want to Nest Ball anything. We want to keep that bench spot open for Nihilego. And then just 30 more damage to the Marshadow. So the Marshadow is set up now. I was expecting him to take the knockout this turn. Turns out he didn't, which means we're still in the same spot. It took us an extra turn, but it looks like we will beat Reshizard here, which is one of the better decks in the meta. I know this isn't the best list. Best list doesn't even play the Charizard, but best list does play Volcanion and Marshadow, so we're up there. We're up there as far as the list goes. There's a switch. Why didn't he play it last turn unless he top decked it? Looking pretty savage right now. So the question here now is, I think we give him a free Tapu Lele knockout in order to secure the win. I think that's the smartest play, depending on what we top deck. But I think giving him a free Tapu Lele knockout and then just Steven's resolving into the 3 cards we need to win the game is logically the better play. We're gonna go ahead and do that. Yeah. So we get Nihilego and Cyrus and Countercatcher. Oh, we do also need to find a way to switch, though. We also do have to find a way to switch. So we're going to rely on that Jirachi to find us a way to switch. And if we don't, we're going to be in a really bad spot. Do we have any energy in the discard? We do, so we can actually hard retreat with, yeah, we're fine. We're good. We are set to win the game next turn. We have the energy recycle system. We can just drop that on Jirachi. We don't have to Stellar Wish or anything. We can just Countercatcher, energy on Jirachi, Cyrus, Nihilego, and there it is. We have beat the Reshizard deck. So let me show you guys how to do this combo in the correct order. This is probably the order that it should go in. It doesn't really... Countercatcher must always come first, and Nihilego must always come before you retreat. That is the 2 main things you should... Let me pass the well played. That's the 2 main things you should always keep an eye out for. Is you should always Countercatcher before anything else, then Cyrus, then Nihilego, then retreat. That way you do not mess up any of the setup, because if you Cyrus before Countercatcher, then they're just going to get rid of the Pokemon with 10 HP on it. If you Nihilego after retreating, then your Sylveon's going to be confused and your whole game is jeopardized on a coin flip for that turn. So yeah, you really want to do that. But yeah, we do have the auto win locked in now. There is nothing else they can do about it. So yeah, this is the deck. This is the way you're supposed to win. I'll probably play a few more games and get a loss in there to show you guys like what the bad parts of the deck are. It's generally kind of slow. That's one of the downfalls of the deck, but when it works, it works. There's no way around it. There is no way for them to beat it. So we are going to play GX. They pick up those 2, and the poison damage. Thanos snaps their entire side of the field. That is why I call it Thanos Snap. They go from 6 Pokemon out in the field. You snap your fingers. You play 3 cards. Their entire side of the field's gone, and you win the game because they do not have anything else. All right, so that's it for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, so it's a little bit after 4 a.m. In fact, it's almost 4:30 a.m. the day before this video goes live, or I guess the day of. So about 3.5 hours before this video is supposed to be live. And yeah, I played probably about 12 games, and I won most of them. And the games I didn't win weren't really because of a deck weakness, but just because of like dead drawing. I had two of those games where I just dead drew, which I mean that's part of that's one thing the deck loses to, but I didn't want to really showcase a game and waste like 10 minutes or 20 minutes of y'all's time that just showcased the deck just not drawing or having bad prizes. That's another thing that happened. But yeah, I didn't run into any deck that beats this at the moment. And that's not saying they don't exist. So let's go through those decks real quick. One of the decks that beat this really well right now is Zoroark with Dugong and Muck. That's one of the lists that beat it right now, simply because 60 damage spread with Dugong on two Mews, or a Mew and a Rabombe, or a Mew and an Eevee, or a Mew and a Jirachi, on top of Muck, which stops your Stellar Wish ability from going off, and it stops your protection from bench damage with Mew, and it stops for your energy evolution. That's a deck that really beats it. Other than that, it really only loses to either big basics, which is like decks like Gardevoir, Sylveon, which have like 200 plus HP, and that's the only basics they play. Just because it's really tough to get it down to 10 HP left, and you still can. You can use codes like you can use Fairy Wind with Sylveon to actually do 110 damage, and then try to do some more. But it's really just tough to get there, especially since that deck can shuffle your hand into your deck. And then other decks like any deck that plays cards like Hoopa or Alolan Ninetales, the baby one that basically says nothing can affect this. The GX cannot affect those cards. Now again, there's a way around it. You can Mew ping that to 10 HP left, and then let the poison kill it, and then get rid of everything else on the bench. But if they play two, then there's no way for Sylveon to play GX it away, unless they just accidentally get rid of it with Cyrus because they don't know what's going on. So those are the types of deck it really loses to. But other than that, it really wins against a lot of stuff as long as it draws decently and doesn't run into one of those three big problems, being Zoroark, big basics, or stuff that can't really be affected by GXs. The deck's solid. The deck, and it's just an amazing deck. I really think you guys should try it. So if you guys want to see more gameplay videos like this, or just more gameplay in general, let me know down in the comments below. Or you can go follow my Twitch, 9 out of Bend. I stream every single day, always playing PTCGO, always playing wacky stuff like this. I find playing stuff like this to be a lot more entertaining and fun than playing meta. Some people disagree with that, some people don't. But I do play some meta on there. But yeah, if you guys want to check out that, feel free.